It has happened, a monumental moment for XRP and RLUSD. What are we talking about? Well, the first ever minted RLUSD on Ethereum is here. This is big news and it sends us into a new era of adoption. Now, we've got quite a bit to get through in this video, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, but we are going to be covering RLUSD, BRICS, XRP, Moon Move, and much, much more. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Let's get into it. So here we go. This is a moment in history, probably one we've been waiting for ever since the announcement of RLUSD, but this is the first minted RLUSD over on the Ethereum chain. Now, you may be thinking, hold on a minute, why is it on the Ethereum chain? Well, this is important. So not only are we going to have XRPL, we're going to have Ethereum as well. A lot of stable coins do interact with the Ethereum blockchain because ultimately this is where the highest amount of transactional volume is. I'm not dissing XRPL. You guys know that I'm super bullish on that long term. But again, we want the maximum amount of exposure and use case and utility. And I think this is very important. So here we are. You can see the transaction here, sent 200 RLUSD, has officially been minted on the Ethereum blockchain. So this is really getting some momentum. Now we have the big Ripple conference coming up in September. Could we see an announcement for a launch date coming at that conference? Quite possibly. The speaker list is pretty epic with Brad Garlinghouse obviously headlining the bill. So for me, this is a great move in the right direction, an absolute key utility, and more importantly, the frictionless transfer of cross-border payments coming both with RLUSD and equally then with XRPL. We need to scale XRPL. We know that there's significant testing going on at the minute, and this is all very positive. Now, to test things like XRPL, and more importantly, to understand what is going on, we're starting to see some very interesting movements going on, in particular when it comes to exchanges and whale groups. We actually saw over 33 million tokens sent to Binance, but nothing really happened. Are these positions people positioning themselves, or equally is this about stress testing some of the networks? I thought this was really interesting to see what was going on. And again, these are all future traders favoring long positions indicated by a positive funding rate and more importantly, that open interest. We'll take a look at the chart in just a minute, but again, this is important. People now are absolutely in the sentiment of being bullish longer term on XRP. And I hear what the haters say. They'll say, well, XRP's done nothing for years. Well, for years, we've had an SEC case looming over the price of Ripple and fundamentally been battling that. Now the shackles are off. For anyone who thinks the SEC is appealing, I absolutely don't believe that to be the case. And for me, this is all about what we've been talking about for months here on the channel, everything going on outside of that SEC case. And once that payment is done and settled, we then move on. I believe the SEC are going after Solana now anyway, which is kind of fine. So anyway, lots of people believing we're going to see a significant rise on the back of this news. And I have been talking about this what feels like forever, and I truly believe we're in that place. And actually, Murabarak suggests that an XRP rally will be massive while stating that the crypto token is one of the crypto investors do not want to be caught lacking. And ultimately, what does this mean? People don't want to miss out. And that's why I think you're seeing this tentativeness around where the market is, while at the same time, Ripple is steamrolling through lots of their utility and use case. What I think is important, though, is where we are going to get to, and more importantly, how this is going to move. He's again failed to happen so far with XRP, still struggling to break the 6th resistance, which again we've talked about for a while, and I do think this is all down to that payment sector. But again, the reality here is if you want to move on, then you can, and I think it's worthwhile just understanding. For me though, there is a ton of stuff coming on the background. So far, just a 2% loss, which not many coins can say that's where they are. And if you align us to the rest of the market, that's a significant amount less, even than say something like Bitcoin and many others. So the big question is though, where does the main utility go? We talk about cross-border payments a lot in terms of XRP, but actually what does it look like? Well, more recently there is a renewed urgency around the BRICS strategic payment system, avoiding the US dollar. Now, if you're bullish on crypto, you know that the US dollar will at some point be replaced by Bitcoin. That's just the reality. We know that US dollar printing money is not, it's not sustainable. But BRICS strategic payment system is looking at a overhaul. The whole SWIFT mechanism that ultimately is clunky and has been denied in so many different countries. Well, 159 countries have already agreed to adopt a new BRICS payment system, which I think is important. And again, the question right now, though, is are we going to see Ripple potentially as part of the BRICS financial strategy? Would make sense. And again, a lot of the things we've seen in terms of those partnerships linking directly into the UAE and many of the other elements of the BRICS network, even more recently that UAE and India transaction for oil, does become very interesting. But it would be good to see XRP building to that. We know that they're being tested in terms of some of the CBDCs, Montenegro and a couple of other countries, but the use of Ripple in cross-border transactions is under consideration, potentially transforming the landscape for international payments when it comes to the BRICS community, which I think is very interesting indeed. How will it work? That's the question for everyone to ask. But again, I think it's very important to think about. And again, the BRICS integration has been talked about with XRP now for the longest time. So what's going on with the chart? Well, let's take a quick look. Bitcoin hovering around 60,500, still within the range, trending between these, between the 50-day simple moving average and the 200 exponential moving average. We want to be interested in the yellow line. And then just under the 60 cent mark here with Ripple, but holding up pretty well, still within this range and this descending wedge pattern. What do we normally see? We talked about it yesterday, would normally be something like that. Again, that's generally what happens. It's what happened back in 2021 when it comes to Bitcoin. Again, XRP done a very similar thing. And I guess what we're looking for, the eventual settlement, which if we think about when we got the announcement, 7th of August, when that news came in, 60 days post that takes us into some early on in October. That's when we're looking at a potential breakout on the back of rate cuts in September. Could be a wild ride for XRP. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. What's your view of the BRICS partnership? Do you believe that XRP could replace SWIFT and become the cross-border payment structure used for many of those 129 countries? But look out for a breakout very soon with XRP. I think this weekend's going to be pretty wild. But as ever, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Do check out some of the links in the description down below if you're looking to trade futures or join my project coming soon. We talked a little bit about how close we are. Get in the Marbits Telegram. It's going to be great. As ever, thank you so much, everybody. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.